I am extremely happy about this casting. But first, before we celebrate, I want to pour one out for Mr. Henry Cavill, who has lost out on yet another role that he would have been absolutely perfect for. And you have to admit, even if you're the most ardent Henry Cavill fan, that it's getting awfully suspicious that he keeps not getting roles with major studios and major franchises that he would be absolutely perfect for. I mean, he's playing around over at Lionsgate with Highlander, and when he should be Bond, or he should be Kraven, or he should still be Superman. I think he'd be a better Bond or Kraven, though, quite frankly. And I think it's very upsetting for him and his team, I'm sure, that he missed out on this. It's almost ridiculous. And also, I have to say, with Aaron Taylor Johnson and J.C. Chandor as the director, I would not approve a high budget for this movie. I would do a nice, sweet mid-range budget, around maybe 50 to 60. I'd keep it around 50, please. So I would have the best chance of getting a return on my investment. With Henry Cavill, I would have spent more money. But I think this could be very good, but I would not be willing to gamble a lot of money on it. I mean, I would make it, but I'd make it for cheap with this talent. Unless they can add a spider person, and we're going to talk about that for sure. While I might be sad for Henry Cavill, I ain't mad because Aaron Taylor Johnson is very strong and very interesting casting. I like it. I can't say it's perfect because I wouldn't invest any money in it, but I want to watch it. And he deserves another break too, after being killed off after only one Marvel movie and not getting to come back in WandaVision even for a single scene, even though we all wanted to see him. I think that was really uncool. I loved WandaVision, but we all have to admit that was an uncool part of the show. So yes, let's discuss. Now, as many of you tweeted, it's the perfect time to use this GIF. You didn't see that coming, did you? He even has experience with the accent. And we did not see this coming, but again, it's a delightful turn of events. Kraven the Hunter, if you don't know who he is a top Spider-Man villain, a founding member of the Sinister Six, and a coveted role because no one's ever done it in live action before. That's getting rarer and rarer these days, so Aaron Taylor Johnson doesn't have to compete with the memory of any other actor in the role. That's great. Ryan Coogler famously wanted him for Black Panther, but Sony said no. And Spider-Man director John Watts has also said that he would love to use him. He's a great character. And also, since he has not been introduced yet, that just makes there more of an interest factor in him. People are like, okay, let's meet a new comic book character. Well, that's rare, that's so rare, as I said. But while all these directors want Kraven, J.C. Chandor gets first dibs, who will direct a Kraven the Hunter solo film announced for January 13th, 2023. That's also the date of a very inexpensive movie. Starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. Henry Cavill could have opened a movie there because he's a little rocky. I think he could have. He gets so little work. You have to realize how weird that is, considering that he constantly trends and has a large fan base. Anyway, as Sony is trying to awkwardly build out its Spider-Verse with no Tom Holland. Tom Holland doesn't even want to do it. He's like, I'm part of the MCU. I don't know what you're talking about, Sony. So anyway, as we've been discussing, the MCU multiverse that's coming up could be a real gift to Sony because it could solve this problem for them. Let Tom Holland stay over in the MCU in that universe, while Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, who are being brought back in No Way Home, one of them could stick around, or Olivia Wilde's Spider-Woman, who is yet to be cast, who's coming up, or even the live-action Miles Morales, who's rumored to swing into maybe No Way Home or the Multiverse of Madness. Any of those characters could step in, any of those spider people, and interact with Venom, Morbius, and now Kraven. I know a lot of you would really like to see Andrew Garfield, because he deserves another break too. A lot of wronged people in Hollywood. The blockbuster games, it ain't for the faint of heart. Now, Venom, of course, was hugely successful with a sequel finally right around the corner. Will Kraven get the same anti-hero treatment? But I think with an interesting actor like Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's taken on a lot of edgy roles, he might not. Especially as Joker, Cruella, and Loki prove that villains do not have to be totally reformed to have their own wildly successful projects. It's good to be bad. Also, Triple Frontier, the Netflix flick that likely got J.C. Chandor this gig, didn't exactly focus on a bunch of up-and-up good guys. So that's one of the reasons they might have hired him for the script, to direct it. Kraven the Hunter is a Russian aristocrat who is obsessed with big game hunting and decides to graduate to hunting superheroes. And in the comics, a voodoo doctor juices him up so he can go toe-to-toe with these said superheroes that he wants to take down. And with Russia in the news once again as an adversary to much of the world, and also a lot of commentary on hunting, it's really no longer considered okay. And then also a lot of people talking about the callousness of the 1%. Well, Kraven seems like he's ripped from the headlines of today, even though the character was created quite a long time ago. Now, Aaron Taylor Johnson was supposed to make it big with Kick-Ass, but he did not, despite 2 films. Even Chloe Grace Moretz is, doing a little bit better. Not now. He pulled ahead of her again. I like Chloe Grace Moretz, though. She was very good in Tom and Jerry. Quicksilver seemed like another big break, but he didn't even make it out of the first film, and he has not been resurrected, even when, again, a very possible opportunity came around to do so. And it's likely he's not going to show up anywhere in this multiverse saga, I can't believe it, as he just signed on for this movie. But still, never say never. Also, fun fact, as many of you pointed out during WandaVision, Evan Peters also appeared in the first Kick-Ass and would then, of course, go on to play fake Pietro in WandaVision. I wonder if Wanda will ever meet Kraven. That would be hilarious. And kind of deserved after what they did with the WandaVision switcheroo. That would be hilarious. Over the past few, because, technically she could, because it's technically MCU adjacent, which is very interesting. Now, over the past few years, Aaron Taylor Johnson has gotten work. He was in the first Godzilla, but they didn't bring him back. It's been rough for him. He had a small role in Tenet, and he's also, this is interesting, in the upcoming Bullet Train movie that David Leitch is directing with Brad Pitt. That's an adaptation of, I believe, a Japanese movie. Also for Sony. So the suits at Sony must have looked at the dailies for Bullet Train and said, we like what we see. And also they enjoyed working with Aaron Taylor Johnson as an actor. They felt, we want to be in the Aaron Taylor Johnson business. A lot of studios are, snapping up talent these days. So this is a huge deal. And again, it's really strong casting, both in terms of playing the character. I think he's a good fit with the role, and having a good relationship with fans already. Fans already know who he is, and I think fans, for the most part, will be really into this. I still think Henry Cavill would have been better, but Henry Cavill messed it up for himself. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson, though, is a darn good other direction to go in, and I'm very interested to see it. Again, I wouldn't invest a lot of money in it, but I'm excited to see it, and I hope it's a huge hit, and we can invest a ton of money in the sequel. So what do you think of this casting and the quickly developing Spider-Verse? Amy Pascal gets points for introducing the idea. I don't think Kevin Feige would have done any of the multiverse stuff he's doing if Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie, hadn't been so well received by fans in the industry. What an Oscar. And then also, what Spider-Person do you want to see in the Spider-Verse going forward? I mean, it could be many of them. It could be a lot of them. But again, I know many of you are rooting for Andrew Garfield. I like all of them, quite frankly. I really would love to see Spider-Woman and Miles Morales in here as well. The Spider-Verse means you can have multiple Spider people. No problem. So share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.